he's a philosopher who brought over Zen and Taoism and stuff in the 50s um, to a Western audience, and he writes very succinctly about these really difficult to grasp Eastern ideas that for the Western mind, just even the way our language is formed compared to theirs, is really, really difficult to grasp. And he makes it really, really, really simple. And he's really into the idea that everything is one, and each individual is just a unique expression of the whole universe. So we're all one collective thing. We're all individual points experiencing ourself, and we're just one big self, and we're all God or something. It's cool. And if you want something to listen to when you're going to bed, and he's got the most amazing, soothing, lovely voice, and there's hundreds of his lectures and stuff on YouTube. Check it out. We know you're passionate about directing. Do you see that in your near future? Yeah, I want to direct. Really want to. I'm trying to write a short film at the minute, and it's really hard. Anyone who's ever written anything that is any good, I'm enamoured, and in awe of you. I'm trying to the more time that I spend on set, the more that I just try and learn the flow of the way crews work and how things slot together. Because I think the key to being a good director, at least the way that, because we shoot under time pressure, I think that the thing that makes, and maybe all productions are like that, there's never enough time. That a good director is someone who can fit in with the flow of the day and know when to spend time and when to focus and when to rush and so yeah, I'd really like to do it at some point. Maybe write a little short and make it. But the thing I'm trying to write, I've decided to put explosions in it and really expensive things like a car chase and stuff. I'm not writing Speed 5, but I am writing something that it's not something that I can just shoot with my mates, unfortunately. Maybe I should write something else a bit simpler and then come back to that when I'm older. Are you into video games? Not anymore. I used to be when I was up until about 18. I was obsessed. I could play them for ages and ages and ages and ages and not eat and stuff. I would miss meals because I'm obsessed with games. And now I just look at them and I can't. It's like I can see the artifice of it. How it's just like putting a dot onto another dot in a very, very complicated way with lots of shiny graphics. But it's just like move your dot over here and you get points. It's boring. Waste of time. No more video games. How do you feel about Bernie Sanders? Good about Bernie Sanders. He's good. He probably won't win the election because he doesn't have as much backing and money, but he seems to be really socially conscious and have some values and integrity and stuff. I think that's really important. And he's into healthcare and free healthcare and reform and basically the things that young people are interested in. Seems to be a divide at the minute between how young people think about politics and how old people think about politics, and as people get older they get generally more conservative, but he's the opposite. We have the same thing in England at the minute. There's a guy called Jeremy Corbyn who's might win the Labour election. This is boring, but he's so great. He's just what we want, some people with values to run the countries. Some people with actual principles who aren't bastards. I think someone asked a question about why Donald Trump is such a dick. Someone asked me that. Here, where is it? Yeah. He's just lost his way. He's gone completely mental. He's obsessed with money. He's just lost the plot. He doesn't know what he is anymore. Idiot. He said something so mental about his own daughter. He said he'd be dating her if he wasn't her dad. That's so messed up. Please don't let him run the country. God's sake. Have you ever thought of trying drag? If you were a drag queen, what would your name be? I have done drag. Not for any particular reason. There was just a sort of period in my life where all my friends seemed to be dressing up like women all the time. Did a music video where we were all dressed up like women, and then we were just doing it for anything. Birthday parties, going out for a picnic, didn't really matter. What would my drag queen name be? I think it was Stella Lagoon at one point. Yeah, I do make a good lady. Is it easy for you to cry for a scene, or does it take a lot of concentration? Um, it doesn't take concentration. It's not easy, but it doesn't take concentration. It takes the opposite of concentration. It's you have to let go. There's like a dam. There's like I think everyone's got a sort of natural emotional barrier between them and the world, so that you don't just feel everything all the time. And then you just got to sort of pierce that, and once you've got through that, then you can just go for it. I think that's just the difficult bit, is overcoming that of having to be vulnerable in front of people and stuff. But once you sort of get over that, it's not too difficult. It used to freak me out. I used to get so in my own head about it. I used to think that was what made a good actor, you know, the ability to be able to cry and cry and cry. Some people can just do it, some people can't. But the less you worry about things like that, the more that you just get on with it. The easier it gets. When did you embrace atheism? I didn't. I'm just sort of agnostic. I don't really subscribe to anything really, because we don't really know anything. We're just tiny little things on a tiny little thing in a massive thing, and you just don't want to let it get too arrogant, because then you've like missed the point about sort of faith and stuff. It's find all these like, oh, when it gets too indoctrinated, it, you know, just think of what God is meant. What some people think about God is meant to be like infinite joy, infinite consciousness, infinite knowledge that goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Imagine an ocean of infinite love that stretched forever. Would you care about gay marriage? That just doesn't seem to make sense to me. That's so limited and small. So, yeah, I think if there is, it's not worth really talking about, because words are limited and stuff. So it's, you know, I don't know. But no, not an atheist. Are you planning to get more tattoos? What do you want next? I do. I can't tell you what I want because I don't know if I'm going to get it yet. I'm still like mulling over the idea. But I think I'm going to get one when I finish. I don't know. It's difficult as an actor because they take ages to cover up, and it's a real nightmare. But I think when I'm in the next sort of stage of my life, whenever I'm not working on this job or something, I'll get one. So I just want time to mull over the idea, give it some months and months, and see if I still want it. What happened to your Snapchat? All in capital letters. I just I'm trying to spend less time on technological devices. I say as I speak into a laptop alone. But yeah, I feel like the more time I spend on my phone, the more that it's atomizing my thoughts, like it's making everything really, really, really small. Like the technology, the way that we take in information is like all this scrolling and bits and stuff. It's the way that we're taking the information is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller, like granular, and then that affects the way that you actually perceive reality. Like my attention span is just rubbish now. I found it much harder to read a book, and that's not good. So all of that sort of phony stuff, I'm trying to stay away from being on my phone too much. What is the one thing you are absolutely terrified to do, but when you did it, you were glad that you did? Well, recently I did some singing, which scares the shit out of me. And it felt so good to do, actually. My tip for the day is do something that scares the shit out of you, because it just makes you feel good. Once you get over the initial thing, you might find that you really enjoy that thing, whatever it is. I don't really have a singing voice, but if you just force yourself into doing something that really scares you, it can be really, really positive. Is the different coloured sock thing a fashion statement, or is a sock regardless of colour? Yes, that's true. A sock is a sock regardless of colour. We should all live by that standard. Yeah, I just don't want to spend ages folding my socks like an idiot. Think of all the time that you've spent in your whole life getting all your socks and folding them and putting them into coloured order. What for? It's at least hours, extra hours. When you're on your deathbed, that will be my one regret. What did you regret? I wasted so much time folding socks when I could have just been out wearing 2 different coloured socks. Don't bother. Would you play a role in a movie series that encourages political ideas that you disagree with? Yeah, I thought about this the other day as well. I don't really think that many movies have a political agenda. But like doing movies that have loads of guns in them and stuff, I think that's fine. I think it's totally separate from life. As long as like playing a villain and stuff, you know, even playing the worst of the worst, as long as they're seen as the villain in the movie, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna hopefully play all different kinds of people in my career, and I'll do pretty much anything as long as it's good. You can have $1 million if a snail is actively hunting you down for the rest of your life. If it touches you, you die. Would you take the $1 million? Yeah. Fuck that snail. He'll never catch me. All I have to do is get on a plane. What's he gonna do? He can't even speak. Do snails even have brains? He's not gonna get me. And I could spend like a load of money on snail security. It wouldn't even be that much. Snail security is not that expensive. I'm pretty sure snail security is like some beer in a milk bottle, like in a plastic milk bottle. That's what my mum does in the garden. You just put beer in a milk bottle, and then snails and slugs climb in it. They love the taste, and then they drown. All life is sacred, apart from snails. They would never catch me. I would have to spend like maybe £100, maybe, in my whole life on the milk and the beer. That leaves me with almost $1 million. What's your perspective on aliens? Do you think they really exist? Since you're so into space and stuff, says the question. Yeah, I do think they exist. Because there's loads of planets out there. There's millions, billions and billions and billions of planets, so there's probably something out there. Kepler, that telescope. Is it a telescope? No, is it a satellite? It's a telescope on a satellite? Shit. It's found loads of planets that look like Earth, similar to Earth. And Mars might have some sort of fossilized algae or something in the rock, if we might find, because there used to be oceans on it. So, I mean, then that's just the next planet over. So yeah, probably aliens. That's all the questions I wrote down. I thought it would take. How long has this been? 27 minutes. That seems about right. That I was on. Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for your questions. I might do this again sometime. I actually think that I like this form of communication. I'm going to watch this video back and see if I said anything.